a caterwauling. Down beneath the bush with Robert, belly in the leaves, then loping forward slowly over soft, silent soil. The ferns ahead part, feet in the lush, thick grass. The night atmosphere is cool, not cold. It can't be felt beneath such a fine coat. A rustling, and there's energy in the air, because the others are out in the dark, looking for food, feasting on garbage, as they were wont to do. There is movement, and movement is energy, and it is out there, unseen in the dark. It's the colorless world of grayscale outlines, and then feet are onto the field of small, smooth stones. The others, the ones with the horrible grasping hands, are out in the brush, and the air is alive because there might be a fight. There will be a fight. It would be good to fight and run and chase. The back arches. Robert is there. He's ready for a thrill, too. There will be a fight. Jumping now up to the post, perched balancing atop a worn and prickly pear, balancing atop a worn and prickly pillar of wood with slivers at its apex, like tacks and needles. Then jumping again to the top of the fence, and then over into the adjoining sward. The fountain water is running, and that's why they'll come there. Then there'll be a fight. They'll come, and it'd be a fight. Crouching low, haunches up, ready to pounce. The night is quiet now that all the motor cars have gone away. In a workshop, the table saw is whirring, and in their hearts, neighbors are cursing, and Robert is purring. Then the others are there. The great leap outwards, and the saw is whirring, and the world is turning, and the screaming, and the pain, and the thrill of it, and also the fighting, the tumbling, and the neighbors are cursing. Robert is there, and the biting, tearing, and clawing, and then the blood, and they run, and it is victory, and that is a good thing. It is victory. Washing and drinking at the cold, clear fountain with Robert in victory, and it is good. Nuzzling and licking and kissing among the bamboo grove along with the victory, and it is very good. The man in the workshop eventually douses his light, and the saw is silent without him. He goes inside his home, and in their bedrooms and in their hearts, the neighbors cease to curse. The fight is over, and the night is still alive, but it is a happy and quiet kind of alive. A fatigue of content satisfaction, an exhaustion of satisfied contentment. Back home, this time under the gap in the fence and through the vegetable garden, observing the carrots, leeks, and onions only in passing, the floor of the shed is hard, bare concrete, but over and under the tools and machines is the soft wood box away in the corner. It's warm inside there, curled with Robert, and there is more happy licking and sniffing before sleeping.
Tinseltown Jungle. Dusty work boots, up and down concrete floors laid by black and brown men centuries before movies were silent pictures of damsels in distress and villains from foreign lands. Histories of celluloid dreams built on backs of barely paid laborers living far from the bright lights, cameras, and influences of manicured tree-lined streets where kids rode bikes along white picket fences. Removed from Spielberg, Reiner, and Hughes inciting suburbia confinement, paraded as rebellion by kids from loving two-parent households and sitcom moms who stayed home, while dads worked and had secret affairs with big boob secretaries. Techno cranes and dollies positioned plastic bushes and fake phone booths to blur backgrounds, not to detract from the famous faces in the foreground, speeding through dialogue, as if people talked in a manner far removed from Malibu, meant to look like Maine. $1 million mansions overlooking oceans, where movie stars retreat from public eyes, encouraging paparazzi gossip and telling half-story truths through wide-angle lensed fiction. Left off screen, behind the scenes accounts of exploits in childhoods in East LA, Mesoamerican folklores, and African fairy tales reshaped for unpigmented mass consumption on modern day micro budgets.
Okay, so the Book of Fire on page 99. Tell me the temperature of loss, darling, how God cracked open the sky but wouldn't give us rain. Tell me about the time Earth caught her hems on a jagged nail and ran. At first it smelled good, like camp, a vagabond memory. For days I let the tones nestle in my nostrils. My brain didn't yet know it was choking. We live in the knife days when you can slice the trees dry, the sky now built against life. Its centuries flee for nowhere, no more whispers in the nettles. My God, to see a civilization unspooling. What doesn't burn now will burn later. Where it doesn't burn now, we inscribed ourselves into the book of fire, sharpened the drawing blades of the petals, a militant pastoral. Count sparks like teeth in the jaws of a dragon until she's ready to consume us. At once we wake to a hot, barbed reckoning, this kingdom of cruelty, governed by an overzealous empress. What isn't unmoored in this today by this nerve to remake everything? I knew a guy in college whose house burned down in the Colorado fires. All I can think of is dancing with him half naked our freshman year, a bedroom dance party, feeling his young, taut body against mine, imagining what it would be like to lose your bedroom in a single night. I don't know what I'd choose to lose first. Not Grandpa's books or the paintings I made when I still believed in tomorrows. I don't believe in God, but I can taste God, ash coating my tongue. Jesus says, jump the turnstile, and we're running on fire. We to thank for this burning all at once. Is it wild that we've domesticated all this pain? She is so everywhere she's undone. How much love can you see in this light? What beams just as quickly dies. She's chased us from our settled lives, twisting our songs into elegies till we're ghosts, carrying suitcases to be sold back to ourselves in rusted parts. Home is a moving target, a wayward promise, a numb spectacle, a squalid imprint that as soon collapses. It's still there, right next to you, the house, a mirage, its shadow, now stitched into the tapestry of what was. We watch her chew on the blackened rinds of a town, spit out the embers of lives, a toast to this new gravel skyline where we might find ourselves lodged, hungry constellations searching for a new moon.
So I'm going to jump in. My plan is this, which is I'm going to read the opening scene and the ending scene, and I'll give you a spoiler alert for the middle of it, which is that it talks about how I fell in love with Costa Rica and the culture and how kind the people were and how they have their heads on straight about saving the environment. And then I come to the conclusion that maybe I virtue signal a little too much. So that's sort of the arc of the piece. So let's begin. Can you tell I used to teach? Um,
Thank you.
finding, finding Frankenstein's monkey in Costa Rica. On the veranda of our eco-friendly lodge in the mountains of Costa Rica, I waited for my sleeping husband to join me for breakfast. A purple orchid, the national flower of Costa Rica, rested atop my bamboo napkin. I inhaled the orchid's honey scent, then reached for my first cup of coffee. Costa Rican coffee had turned out to be bitter, with notes of acidity and Weltschmerz. I needed coffee to be awake. But awake to what? During the last few years, the world had left me with a bitter taste in my mouth, as if bitterness had become my beverage of choice. A high-pitched squeak interrupted my first sip. Beyond the railing, on a small metal platform, a capuchin monkey frenetically grabbed bananas from a lodge-provided feast. Another monkey dared to swing from branches towards the bounty and was met with a warrior cry. I watched as the intruding monkey pivoted away as quickly as our US democracy had and scampered away. A hairy white face with rubbery, pale pink lips turns towards me with a scowl. He'd made a basket of his hands in which half-eaten bananas crowded each other. The thug monkey started shoving bananas into his mouth, chunks spraying, while other hairy monkey faces peeked out from behind large leaves. I wanted to shout, "Stop! You have more than enough. Leave some for the little guys." The thug monkey met my stare with dead eyes. I heard the crunch of decency crumbling behind rubbery lips. I was the first one to look away, too tired to play a staring game with a primate. All the marching and voting and letter writing back home had worn me out. I needed this vacation. Then the last part is back in the US, after 4 airports, 3 time zones, and a man braying to his travel companion, Costa Rica abolished their army and the drug cartels pour in, they should build a wall. We finally landed at SeaTac. Without even a sorry, a young guy wearing square black glasses that screamed techie pushed by me on the concourse. His expensive-looking backpack smacked my shoulder. I teetered, bleary-eyed, next to Dan as he researched an electronic board for our final connection. Rain hit the windows overlooking the tarmac. I shivered to think of the slog through the cold downpour to a smaller plane. Through the crush of humanity inside this neon jungle, I spied an old-fashioned gumball machine outside a candy shop. Its glass orb reminded me of an antique diver's helmet. Inside, a sea of neon-colored gumballs mounted. I left Dan's side and twisted the chunky handle. A metallic clank rewarded my effort. When I lifted the hatch, a yellow gumball rolled into my waiting hand. Was I supposed to pay for this? Through the shop window, the sales clerk glared at a group of teens pushing in front of open bins and not me. I popped the gumball into my mouth. The yellow shell cracked between my molars, releasing banana. My eyes slitted with pleasure. Banana flavored were my favorite. I twisted the handle again and again. I picked up speed, grabbing as if in a trance, not caring what color they were, and shoved 3 more gumballs into my mouth. Dan appeared next to me. "Gate 3C, he said. I'll meet you there. And by the way, the white ones are the best." Of course, my husband would want the rarest gumball, so few whites in a sea of color. With no time to waste, I nudged off the tin disc at the top of the gumball machine and lowered my hand for buried treasure. My fingers closed around a white gumball. On a TV meant to soothe exhausted travelers, a nature show sparked suddenly to life. A toucan filled the screen. My paw froze mid-plunder. On one hand, I venerated Costa Rica. With its pura vida ethos and legally protected jungles and wildlife, and with the other hand, I stuffed pilfered gumballs into my mouth like an out-of-control primate taking more than I needed. But I didn't want to be Frankenstein's monkey, a cobbled-together creature of greed and good intentions, tisking as the bad monkeys peed from the sky while feeling good about myself because I marched and voted umbrellas for all. Playing the part of good liberal wasn't enough to garner applause. True pura vida was quieter and began from within before radiating out. The gum soured in my mouth. I caught sight of myself in the airport's wall of windows. My face flushed from the excitement of gaining the system for sweets. I met my own glazed eyes. It was not a good look. I heard the shrill cry of the peacock who had just seen herself in the mirror. A little girl shyly watched me as her parents argued over who had the passports. Her eyes tracked the gumball in my hand. I spat my half-chewed gum into a trash can, then clicked the tin disc back on top of the gumball machine. "Excuse me," I said to the squabbling parents. I held up the white gumball, which I'd wrapped in a clean tissue. "Is it okay if I give this to your daughter?" I said. "I have enough."
but it's called honeysuckle. Honeysuckle grows there beside the shed. Goose is honking and hummingbird floats there licking the nectar to savor its taste, and every drone goes in and out among the yellow blossoms, all in service of their queen. The sun is well advanced from noon, soon to say goodnight. A wind is blowing gentle, then hard, then gentle. Thomas has made it up there, sly fellow. Watch him now. See how he pads his paws so carefully upon the roof tiles. Notice how his back arches, his tail flits to and fro. Hummingbird had best be careful, don't you think? Blood, blood, tooth, claw, and bone, meat and blood for teeth, blood and bones. But no, Hummingbird flits away, lighter than air, and Thomas cannot eat. Robert and Catherine are watching him from the lawn, but they can see there will be no killing. Thomas pushes into the lush green honeysuckle, and the drones buzz when he disturbs their branches. Goose honks and man works his machines, but Thomas is away from them. He is alone there in the shade even now. Can't you see him? He's waiting quietly for the universe to change. It's cool and comforting there in the shadows, away from the sun. He's waiting there, alone with Honeysuckle, who embraces him.
A part of me believes we're all closer when we're choked by the same scorched air. A quiet part, the burnt part, the crisp, the me who only started breathing when told to hold my breath. 4-year-old me, who caught a fireworks ember in her eye and still found the horizon. Or that 18-year-old me, who first marched for green action to sleep with the lead upperclassmen. Maybe that me, age 20, chanting at McCaskill to vote for clean energy, protect our air, whose dad then threatened her tuition. Or 36 years old, writing to us all to flip the light switch, screech at the poached pink mist, scrape the sky until it reads sky again. I want us all to sky again. Cradle a cracked earth in your hands, all parts of me beg you. I want to tell my first self, unscathed, she can still believe in fireflies. Stars, carving the horizon just for her.